Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to our Capstone project presentation. We are group 32 and we are going to demonstrate our product or our project to you. And we called it Document Copilot, and it basically helps you write documents. So, background first, we look at what people struggle with when writing their documents. Biggest two are you either have difficulty with formulating your ideas into words, whether you already have the idea or just struggling to come up with the idea and just formulating it into words. The other issue is if you are not a native English speaker or you just overall have trouble with the English language, you are not going to be able to correctly write these documents. So here's the solution we came up with. We came up with using a natural language processing model, NLP. And what this does is auto-generate sentences or paragraphs depending on what you input. It is also able to rephrase the user's input to enhance their grammar and overall just enhance the quality of the document that is being written. And all this just cuts time over miscellaneous tasks such as reading over the document, just making sure all the grammar is correct and there's no spelling mistakes, and just that you have the best wordings that you might need to basically finish or have a good document. All this will be shown on our demo. So features that we have in the document is we have a UI that is very easy to use and familiar to products that many of you have already used in the past, such as Google Slides or ChatGPT. Now, this is just to help anyone get started and go right into using it. So you don't need to have this learning curve where you want to figure out how to use the software when you already basically have experience with other stuff that looks exactly like it. It responds to any query that the user inputs with sentences or paragraphs just based on what you write and how much you write. It can create, view, or edit and auto-save documents for you to always view later. And it does this by just storing it into your account when you make an account, whether you either make an account or just use something like your Google account. So it just saves it for you, so you can always come back and you can edit, view it, and it's always auto-saved, so you don't have to worry about losing your work. So some additional features that we have are we have rephrasing and summarizing selected text. So what this does is you have text, you can always highlight the text if you don't want to rephrase the entire document. You can highlight specific text, like for example, you have an introductory paragraph like, "Hi, my name is Mohammed Amin." You can highlight that and it will show you multiple options of rephrasing that sentence into a more grammatically correct sentence. And you have different options so you can see which fits best with the rest of the document. I mentioned ChatGPT earlier. Basically, what this feature is you have ChatGPT where if you have a specific URL that you are trying to get the ideas from, you can submit this URL at the top of the page, and then it will search that web page. It will basically fetch all the ideas from it and let you know what went on in that web page, what you can talk about, some things to look out for. Basically, just fetches from a specific source instead of looking out throughout the entire web or just using just looking throughout the entire web. It will just use the URL that you chose. You can export your documents to any other file type. So, if you want to have your files in the PDF format, so for offline viewing, that's also a possibility that you can do. You can also have a Google Slides from your document. So if you made the document and it has multiple points, the model will be able to detect where the main points are and where the subheaders would be. So it will just make a Google Slide show for you, so you can always go and edit it, view it, download it, and you just have that at in your arsenal. And lastly, we have a mobile-friendly website. And what this means is, no matter what the dimensions of your screen are, you always have a clean, presentable UI with clear text and clear buttons. So the buttons are never too small or they're never too big. The words are never disoriented. You always just have the perfect picture, basically. So we could, which provides ease of use to the user and just allows for a smoother experience.
Hi, my name is Omar, and I'll be discussing the architecture for Document Copilot. So basically, the architecture consists of a two-tier client-server model, where the client layer interacts with the software, and the server layer is where the software and the data are stored. Implementing this highly scalable architecture ensures a reliable and robust system that is easily maintained. In addition to this, the use of an external NoSQL cloud database in MongoDB allows for easy access to data despite the use of internal databases being more common. Loosely coupled functional groups allow for components to be swapped out easily without causing issues in other components. This means that you can safely write new code when adding new features without breaking any existing functionalities within the project. The first functional group I'd like to discuss is document management, which allows for documents to be managed and stored separately from other functional areas, providing simpler maintenance and an extra layer of security and organization to the documents. Next, let's discuss user authentication. When users access a system, it's important to ensure that their identity is verified and their access to the system is authorized. Another important feature in the weakly coupled system is file exporting, which allows users to export their documents to PDF or Word for ease of sharing. Finally, a system with weak coupling is required so that any changes or updates to NLP functions won't affect other areas of the code. Lastly, we'll touch on the concept of functional decomposition. In a system with functional decomposition, we can break down the project into smaller, more manageable components so that the project is future-proof and is easier to refactor to a service-oriented architecture or a microservice architecture. Here we see the component diagram for Document Copilot. Looking at this, we can see that the main components of the system are highlighted in a lighter green, and the subcomponents are highlighted in a darker green. In addition to this, the orange-colored items are the external services linked to our system that support its functionality and store its data. The web app and the API are connected through the content editor on the web app side and the document service on the API side. They are also connected through the export function on the web app side and the export service on the API side. The auth service and the unauthenticated user are linked to Stitch for all authentication and verification operations. Basically, an unauthenticated user is someone who does not yet have an account or is not yet logged in. Um, of course, the document service is linked to MongoDB so that all data is stored safely and reliably. The auth service is also linked to that. And finally, the Copilot service is linked to OpenAI for the use.
Our project is implemented in TypeScript using Next.js and Express frameworks. It saves data to MongoDB and relies on OpenAI's GPT-3 natural language model. It stores data using MongoDB and uses Stitch to streamline user authentication and access control. Some of the other technologies that are supported in this project include Google Cloud Platform, Tailwind, Python 3, GitHub, and much more. Moving forward, our team has a number of exciting plans to enhance the functionality of our document copilot. Here are some of the next steps we plan to take. First, we aim to introduce collaborative text editing, which will allow multiple users to work on the same document at the same time. This feature will be a game changer for teams and individuals who need to collaborate on documents in real time. Second, we will be implementing a dark mode, which will make using the editor easier on the eyes and will reduce eye strain for users who prefer working in low light environments. Third, we plan to improve the speed of prompting websites with our chatbot feature. This will enable users to quickly generate content from websites without having to navigate through multiple pages or menus. Fourth, we will be generating background colors based on the mood of the text. This innovative feature will help users to quickly identify the mood of their content and customize the look and feel of their documents accordingly. Lastly, we will be improving support for various exportable file types. This will enable users to seamlessly export their documents in the format of their choice, making it easier to share their work with others. Overall, these next steps represent a significant leap forward in the functionality of our automated content writer. We are excited to continue developing and improving our product to meet the needs of our customers or users.
All right, here's a demo of Document Copilot. You could click the Get Started button to sign in. And we're using Stitch for authentication, and the sign-in process is the same as the login process. So if you don't have an account, you could just continue with Gmail or enter your email below. Once you're logged in, you'll see this page. From this page, you could create a new document, and you'll also see the history of all your past documents created. It's mobile friendly, and next we'll go into the document editor, and check it out.
From a basic prompt, Copilot can begin composing automatically. However, if you instead use the suggest tool, you'll have more user control by being provided with multiple generated options. While you're editing, you can also select text and use the rephrase tool to change the layout of entire sentences or paragraphs at once. Of course, you're still able to make manual changes as well. Once you have a decent draft that you're satisfied with, you can also click export to download the content in file form.
We've created a way to let users generate a presentation outline based off the contents of the document. It'll take a couple of seconds to generate based off the length of the document. Once it's generated, you'll be greeted with a presentation link you could click on to view your presentation outline in Google Slides. Another feature we built is Document Copilot Chat. It's similar to ChatGPT, but more powerful, and I'll show you how. It lets you enter a website URL, and it lets you then prompt or ask any question to that website. Like, who is this guy? It takes a moment to load because we're running a bunch of NLP. We're going to the website, we're scraping the website, we're running a bunch of NLP, grouping into paragraphs, detecting which paragraphs are relevant to this question, and then inserting into a prompt, which we send to OpenAI. So it has context on what's on the actual web page instead of regular ChatGPT. It will, based off, if you just give it a link, it doesn't actually go and figure out what's at that link. It'll try to guess what that page is about based off of what's in the actual URL. We built another feature that will allow Document Copilot to speak to us. It may be broken. Alternatively, if you don't have a link, it functions just like ChatGPT would. We hope that this tool could be used to empower people to do better research by finding sources and then being able to interact with it, asking questions about the website, and being able to leverage ChatGPT to get like very in-depth insight and answers. Thank you for watching our demo, and I hope you guys get to check out Document Copilot.